Um, Hi, how are you doing this morning?
Good. How are you? Good morning to you.
I'm doing well. To start, I love how this movie has kind of, I don't want to call them the rogues gallery, but I love the three who just stand across the street and comment on everything happening throughout the movie, and they're just like hanging outside watching the kind of, they're the audience, as it were, throughout the movie. And so for you, when you are kind of making a movie that is, it's a Christmas movie, but it is about, family and being accepting and trying to navigate someone new coming in, what was the joy of that's normally my life. My cat's out there today, but
What do
what
you
was the
think what she
joy?
said? Well, I'm gonna ask the cat what it
Yeah, I'll go get Benji. Benji can talk.
is.
What was the joy of, finding the balance between the humor of like having those three kind of having running commentary with those more heartfelt moments between, a father and a daughter, or like the new boyfriend being kind of the outsider in that balance.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? You want to make a funny movie, you want to make a holiday movie, but as a, as a Latino immigrant myself, I also want to make sure it resonates with
Mhm.
everybody, right? Because this experience can be experienced by anybody who just moves to another town and is the new foreigner in that place, right?
Mhm.
You don't even have to be from a different culture, DNA, specifically to have the experience of being the foreigner. Anybody that has moved from one town to the other can experience the flavor of that. And so to me, it's like at every level, I want to make sure it's funny, but also want to make sure it resonates from within the family, with each other, and then also with the cat. And then also, he really wants to go there, and then also with the peanut gallery, which is this guy's living in the lowrider outside, because they are kind of the wrong vatos making the wrong comments, and it's funny, and
Mhm.
so it's scripted to a level, but I wanted them to say more. But no, those guys are content creator influencers themselves, so they're actors, they're writers, the
Mhm.
three of them, right? So I decided to cast them instead of standard actors because I could probably get more from them, which I did, and I'm glad you appreciated it. Because when I was shooting
Yeah.
it, I just wanted more. It's like, okay, let's do another one. Say something about that. Say something about this. So I have a moment where I have Lopez improvising with them, and then Lopez says something silly, walks away, and then they keep saying silly stuff. And then at the editing room, you kind of go, okay, I'm not sure how I'm going to cut this. Which one should I pick from? Because every take was slightly different and funny.
Yeah, and it's so good too, because I loved, they're just always out there. And like I do like too at the end, like Jack Kilmer's getting in a car, they're just pouring one out for him. And I was just like, they never leave. They're just always standing there.
They exist there,
Um,
yeah.
but I do like too, you were saying how it does kind of have a universal feel. And like I come from a big Italian family, and like my sister-in-law came from like just her and her mom and joined our family. And I was like, that feels crazy to me. Is
Right?
like going from like two people to like 40
Yeah.
at a social gathering. But what I really liked about this movie in particular is you kind of have this guy with with Jack Kilmer who is trying to do something really nice for his girlfriend, and it just kind of backfires at every given step because there's no communication between, George Lopez's character who is like, "No, nah, I don't want to talk to this white boy," or like the boyfriend who doesn't want to step on toes. And so you said you had George Lopez like improvising things like that. What was the set dynamic between like especially those two characters who their dynamic is so important that there is tension between them? Did you let them kind of improvise and like have them play around, or was it like, yeah, we kind of have to have what is written stay with those two characters?
Both, because obviously you want to start with the good script, and this is written
Mhm.
by a Chicano, born and raised in East LA,
Mhm.
and is based on experiences from his friends and family. And so you have that which truly resonates. Then you adapt it to the actors that are now signing on to do these roles. Then you want them to bring their own thing, their own flavor, their own tone and commentary, and even improvise. So I wanted that for all of them, and we did that with all of them. And the trickiest thing was that the craziest character, Lopez's character, and the more serene center character, apparently Jack Kilmer's characters, when they come together, I
Mhm.
want to have the contrast, but I also don't want it to be completely like they're just jumping off the page in the wrong directions. They need to belong together in some way. And but they're really good actors. I mean, Lopez is a great actor, and is pitch perfect. So he was always molding his performance to what was happening around him, and all the actors had X amount of freedom to improvise and bring that to the table, including Jack Kilmer. And I didn't want Jack to be just a victim of things, so he had to be the victim, but he knew what's up. He knew what's going on, and he was able to try his best to make it work. And at the end of the day, have to make decisions, right?
Yeah, and it also too is like that character could be so easily like kind of a annoying bad dude because he was planning this like grand Christmas vacation, like because we see he's looking at flights to Fiji.
Yeah.
And then he's like, just kidding, we're going to East LA and like switches their entire vacation to be with her family. And it kind of instantly gives us a clue into his character, which it's really cool to see kind of, a woman who has a man in her life that does want to like help her be with her family, and that father daughter relationship that is, tense, but she clearly like loves her family is very obvious in this movie. How did you kind of like make sure as a director on set that those relationships came across very clearly when this movie isn't necessarily like we're not it's not built in within like we don't have whole scenes where we're like here's all these things they did, it's just kind of instant and we have to believe them as soon as they're happening.
Well, that's the thing is you because it's still a comedy and
Hmm.
it's a short comedy. It's not an epic movie, so
Hmm.
you have to hit just the peaks and valleys of the performances and the characters' curves, right? So you want to be efficient about it. So you want more, and it's funny, and you never get tired of what's happening. So I'm very sensitive to the shifting your butt in the seat because you're getting uncomfortable and bored in the movie
Hmm.
theater, right? So I come from advertising, so I want to be quick on the draw and specific and all that, but at the same time, I want the characters to flourish and give you a bit of depth, right? So because I am that guy, I'm that immigrant, I'm that guy who is always the foreigner everywhere. I'm a parent. My daughter's 25. So is Lopez, and so you also want to, I think it works better when there's some truth to it, even if you're doing a crazy comedy like this one. You still want to resonate with a social commentary and
Hmm.
be truthful. So you balance it out. It's like, okay, have you gone too far? Maybe it should be a little softer here. Maybe it should be a little edgier here. Maybe you can really go wild on this one, because because I can balance it out. So at the end of the day, the job of a director is to find the tone, the pulse, the rhythm, and just get everything in a way that it synchronizes. And a lot of times you hoping that it works because you have to make decisions so quickly that until it's cut together, you sometimes go, oh, that didn't work. You have to take that out. So you do your best judgment based on your experience and the elements and the people you have working with you.
Yeah, and I'll say too, one of the moments that I was like, oh my gosh, this movie, I was like, I'll suspend my disbelief and make it work. But then I realized it wasn't actually happening, was I thought it was snowing towards the end of the movie, but it was because of the lights. And the lights made it look like it was snowing. So I was like, oh my gosh, it's snowing. I was like, oh wait, no, like they did it so the lights at the party were meant to like replicate that it was snowing. And I thought that was such a cool moment of being like, yeah, this is a Christmas movie, but it's Los Angeles, so it's not actually going to be like the Christmas Wonderland that it's supposed to be. And when you do have a movie that is obviously set at Christmas time, but is in a warm climate like this is, what was the fun of finding those little moments where it is supposed to be like Christmas, but you're not going to have the typical, oh, let me put on my beanie and my warm coat because that's not where the movie's set.
Yeah, so you got to find the humor in all those things,
Yeah.
right? And the fact that we had to shoot it in Jackson, Mississippi in the middle of the summer with 110-degree temperatures, right? which you can barely think straight, and you're doing a comedy holiday Christmas movie, at some point we're looking like, why are we here doing this particular thing? But being a comedy, you gotta think, oh, that's funny, so let's lean
Mhm.
on it, right? And so it would say, what else can we do? And so there's that scene that I want to reveal where it goes completely
Mhm.
cliche of a Christmas movie moment. And that was laugh out loud on set. It was hard to keep a straight face, while doing it, because we were just so silly in the
Mhm.
situation we were in. So, you want to have that, you want to have the chance to push the boundaries to the edge of the comedy.
Yeah, and it's so good. And for a last quick question, I do have to ask, it still has, the Christmas, like the message by the end, and you're like, yes, this is still a Christmas movie, and it's like very sweet as much as it is like a short comedy that stars George Lopez at the center of it. So it's that feel that when you see his name. Everything about it is kind of like you know what you're getting, and it is satisfactory as you're watching it. You're like, yeah, it's exactly what I wanted it to be. What for you do you hope audiences take away when they get to see the movie?
That we're all the same. We're all in this together. The
Mhm.
holiday, we all get together, those who can, and we should treat ourselves better and everybody around us, right? We're on this planet, in this boat, all going the same place, same direction, and especially this day and age, we should get along. And so hopefully this movie will just, make you laugh and think about things from a slightly different angle.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for talking with me today. Does your cat have any final thoughts before
I
we
think
wrap?
he was kicked out of the room
Oh,
because he had too many thoughts and it would have taken like another 10 minutes.
yeah,
So
he
I'm
was
going to
like,
send you the representative of the cat to set up an appointment. You can talk to him.
great. Thank you so much for talking with me today. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. Have a
Merry
great one.
Christmas. Bye.
Christmas. Bye.